Welcome to Around the Bases, the pop culture and sports podcast with your host,
Charlie Seymour.
And I'm Tim Sternberg. Hit it, Nick. Welcome to another great week here on Around the Bases, the pop culture and sports podcast. We're real excited this week to have a very special guest, our friend, our compadre, our amigo, Franklin Anthony. Franklin, how you doing?
Hi, guys. Hi, I'm great. Thanks for having me. What's going on?
Oh, it's been
welcome.
It's been a long time coming.
Nice to have you. Last time you and I did a kind of a thing together. We did a TikTok live, which was amazing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Randomness. Just randomness.
It was what was it, Honey Boo Boo?
It was soap opera. It was just like we were pulling stuff from everywhere. I loved it. It was so fun.
You and I just, ever since Atlanta, we just click. Like we just get each other.
We had no
100%.
choice.
No choice.
I would just look over at you like, are you seeing this? What's happening here?
Yeah, we had
Am I
that.
crazy or I was never crazy.
Never. For our listeners who don't know, we met Franklin just like I met Charlie, and Charlie met me, and we all met each other in Atlanta filming We Are Family, and we are family. Here we are.
We absolutely are.
All these months later, it's June already. Can you believe it?
No.
It will be a year in September since we met. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's the fastest year I've ever seen.
Fast.
It really has. Yeah. Time's going.
It was so awesome being on that show because I got to meet wonderful people like you guys. And really, that was the biggest prize of them all. It's just the relationships that we kind of got from doing that. And we spent many a day in that lobby, and you weren't in the same hotel necessarily, but you were basically over at our hotel all the time.
Yeah. I would come over.
And we spent a lot of time talking and getting to know each other. And I got to know you. Well, the first things I saw was a clip of you and Dave, and you guys were on Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I wasn't big into that realm at that moment. So that was kind of our first taste of the kind of that type of thing. But yeah, that was a moment. We were on Kelly Clarkson and we just came as audience members. But I guess producers heard us talking and they handed us a mic and it was all she wrote. I was like, okay, this is my chance.
So
say what you got to say.
So you got on TV because of doing something I like to do, and that's winning.
Right.
You won $1,000, right?
Right.
Was that truly random, do you think?
No, I don't think it was random. Well, David tells me all the time that they chose the person they wanted to put the $1,000 on their seat based on, like, I guess their vibe in the line when we were waiting to go to be set.
They always say they're always watching you.
They always are watching you. That's why you always have to be doing your thing, being yourself, because David says they were watching me before we went in, and he kept sawing like a producer, like writing stuff as I'm talking. And I'm just talking about Kelly Clarkson trivia, and I love the song. I love that song. And did you see this performance? And they listened and they set us in a specific spot. And that's why David's like, no. They did that on purpose. It was all very purposeful. Right? So it was a moment.
You guys were all the way on the end.
Yeah.
So were you in LA just to vacation and you just said, oh, let's go see Kelly Clarkson?
That's the crazy part. Amazing. We had always planned to see her, but yeah, we didn't know we would be on air or anything, we literally just wanted to go to LA. Neither of us had been there. So we were like, let's just do it, so serendipity, I guess.
I love LA.
Yeah.
So it was great too, because you guys, for our listeners, Franklin and David, they have a great, amazing web series called Deloach Gene, which is funny. It's comedic. It's entertaining. It's award nominated, which is amazing. How many awards have you guys been nominated for?
So it's tricky because I think some people don't understand that you can be multiple things. So for a festival, sometimes you'll be selected. And if you're selected, that means your film could possibly be filmed at a competition. it doesn't necessarily mean that you won the actual award. So we've been selected a lot of times. I would say about a dozen at this point. But then you can be a semifinalist, a finalist, or you can actually win. We've actually done all of that. So we actually are award winning, I would say about 5 or 6 times now. It just kind of depends on the festival, but as in terms to how they do it. But we've kind of done it all in terms of the rankings. So it's been a crazy experience because you never know, you put your best foot forward and you just hope for the best. And just to be recognized, by, these people that, have these competitions, it's been cool, man. Like, we've done pretty well. I'm excited, and David is too.
What made you guys start it? Like, what was the inspiration or the background for the show?
For the show in the first place?
Yeah.
So we both are artists. We both have been acting a good portion of our lives. We both write. We both, we're just those type of guys that, anything in the arts, creative wise, we kind of do it. And I think we just started filming like little TikTok videos, little vignettes. And I think we both were just like, this could be more. We could go further with this. And I think that just kind of evolved naturally into a narrative, a show. So I started thinking about it, and I just came up with this little concept. David would say funny stuff around the house all the time, and I would just be like, that'd be funny. So I think we just need a way of framing it into like a fictional narrative. And I one day I was just like, you know what? I have this idea. And then David was like, you should add this, you should add that, take that out. And we kind of just collaborated, and we came up with the Deloach Gene Show. So, it's based around the art, so it's natural to us as performers. And I think it was something that was far enough away from who we are as people, but close enough to who we are to relate and kind of embody these characters. So it was just like the perfect balance. And yeah, we wrote the first season, and just kind of saw what happened. And here we are, 2 seasons later.
I think I have to give you kudos, because I think this landscape of arts where people make their product like you guys do, like from roots up, from the ground up, basically, that's what you guys do. I think it's pretty crowded landscape, and for you guys to win awards is pretty impressive considering the amount of competition that's out there for those awards. Kudos. Wow.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What
I think a part of it is just people haven't seen much of this, like this, the representation, you really just don't see 2 Black queer males, kind of doing that. You'll see them as like the sidekick or the funny character, but we actually are the leads of the show. You know what I mean? And it's about us and our relationship and falling in and out, of the relationship. So I just think that's a little rare. You will not see that if you turn on your TV, Netflix. You won't see that narrative. So I just think it was something fresh, and it makes people go, wait, what was that? Because it's just different, I think. Yeah.
And I think in 2024, even it's surprising, and not surprising at the same time, that we still don't see that regularly, that representation necessarily. And I think it's really groundbreaking that you guys are doing that, and
Appreciate that.
You're successful at it. I mean, I think it's awesome, and I think we need to see more of that. Hopefully that there's another person who identifies and is whatever it is, that sees you guys and says, I can do that too. And that's a big, huge prize to be able to do that.
I agree. We agree. If we never won an award, just to be able to make art that was true to ourselves and to spend time together and to do what we love together, I think was also a big prize, and just creating art together, I think above all else was like, we won, So, yeah.
I agree.
I was going to say and to your point, even if you didn't win any awards, even if you're reaching one person that you wouldn't have reached before, who then is inspired to do something else, that alone is a win in itself.
Absolutely. And that's what art is about. It's literally to inspire, to evoke thought and change, and to make people question their own beliefs, just to kind of get the conversation started. And I think that's exactly what the show does. If you watch it, you're going to leave like, oh, wait, oh, that's their perspective. Oh, I never really thought of that. And you could leave changed. And that's the point of art, to change, and help people think about things differently, you know.
Because I'm thinking as an educator, I've worked with so many awesome kids, and they did not have that representation necessarily, and they would question who they were. Like,
Mhm.
why don't I see people that are like me that are out there? And there's such a stigma attached to that for these young people that are having to deal with not only, bullies in school, bullies around them, adults that are bullies that
Mhm.
are ignorant, for lack of a better word, but to see artists like you, like David, and other artists that are representing what they represent and what they are, who they are, is really important, because we got to encourage these young folks to live who they are and be who they are. Ironic that this is a month of Pride, and which is really important,
That's
because it
funny.
gives them that stage, so to speak, to say, hey, I'm not so different. I'm not
Right.
abnormal. I am
Right.
normal. I am who I
Right.
am. And you guys give them that. So major kudos, my friend.
Well, I feel like we've been talking about David so much. Come over here. Bring Anita. I said you might have to
Oh
make a
yeah,
cameo. Um, but yeah, and it's Pride. That was not even planned. Like we just happened to choose this
no,
date.
we didn't
We were
plan it.
not. It just happened to.
No,
Hello, America.
this is not a setup. David, David,
This is
and
David, everybody, co-creator of the Deloach Gene Show, and our little fur baby. We
thank you
just
for
got
Yeah, and he's
blessing
yesterday.
us.
and he's holding the new puppy.
Anita, that's Anita, right?
Yep. Yep.
So cute. She is
She
so
says
Oh,
cute.
hello
he's
and
so
thank you,
cute.
everyone,
Says
for the
hello.
love.
Hi, Anita. Anita's like, what are you doing to me right
She's like,
now?
put me down, God.
She'll be in season 3.
Yeah, she will be. Look out for her.
Oh, I love that.
That's
Wait,
great.
how much
That's
does she
hilarious.
charge? What's her rate?
We got to figure that out. Is
Oh,
it
yeah.
union or equity or not? What's it
Yeah,
going
I
to
don't
be?
know.
Oh, man. She's an intern at this point.
Season 3, the season of Anita.
Right. It'll be all about her.
I
It'll be a
love
dog show in season 3. But yeah.
it. Best in show too.
Yeah, right. Look,
I love that.
whatever
Thank you,
works.
David, for joining us.
When
Yeah.
did you guys get her?
I said thank you. But yeah. So yeah, we're just
Charlie said, I
we're
want to
just
know
grateful.
when you guys got him. When you guys got
Yesterday.
Anita.
Oh wow, yesterday.
It sounds kind of crazy, but yeah, we had got her. We purchased her months ago, but I guess legally you can't get a dog too early. They have to get
Yeah,
certain
usually like
stuff.
8 or 10 weeks.
Yeah, and I didn't know that because I'm a first time dog owner. So, and David was in a show. He's a working actor in Philadelphia as well. So he had shows, and so it just didn't make sense to get her until yesterday. So now we're like, doing the potty training and the bonding and so yeah, that's been fun.
Oh yeah. You're in for a treat for the first.
That's what everyone says. They're like, have fun. Do you have pets, Charlie?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah, we've got a dog.
Oh yeah. Rocket.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I knew that. Right. I think in when we were doing one of our like Secret Santas or something, the dog was there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's great. She's over there sleeping on the couch right now.
Oh.
The first few weeks you'll see how great it is to have a dog.
Okay.
So quickly. So
yeah.
quickly.
Well, look, we both had to go to
Charlie-
work on Tuesday, so we'll figure it out. We'll see what happens.
Oh.
Yeah.
Charlie
But-
Charlie shared with me, when he got home from, Atlanta last year. When he got home from Atlanta, he
so
shared with
long
me a
ago.
video of Rocket, and Rocket was just zooming right towards him. He was so excited to see
Oh,
him.
when y'all saw each other for the first time?
Gone.
Yeah, exactly. When we
Aw.
got back after the 17,
He was so
18
excited.
days.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
She probably missed. Is it she, right?
She.
She probably missed you so much.
Yeah, she did. She's a good girl.
Aw.
So-
See, now I'm all like team dog.
What's your
But
That's all
I
it
get
takes. That's
Well,
all it
big
takes.
cat.
One day and your team
Mhm,
dog.
mhm. I'm like, oh, okay. Now all my years where I was like, I don't understand this dog thing that people are obsessed with. But now I'm like, when I see a dog out now, I'm like, oh my God, who is she? How old? What breed? I was never like that before.
Oh yeah, it changes quick.
It's-
It really does.
It's so wild. I'll be over at my sister-in-law's house and she has a 19-year-old dog, which is amazing in itself. And
Yeah.
that's my wife Erica's taking care of him right now. And
Oh wow.
when we go walk him, he's a terrier. I can't tell you every single time a random stranger will come up and start, can I pet him? And
Yeah.
it's amazing what dogs do to bring people together is amazing.
Tim, I literally thought about this today, and this might seem corny or overly, I don't know, but dogs have the same effect as music. Dogs are like universal in the way of two people can have everything different about them. But if it's like a song or maybe a breed of dog that they both like, it can bond two completely different types of people. I thought that today when I was walking her for 3 hours trying to get her to poop. But that's a whole
They
nother
don't do
podcast.
that on demand, my friend. They don't do
And then
that on
David walks
demand.
her for 10 minutes and he's like, oh, she pooped. I'm like, oh, great. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. But yeah, no, there's a university about universality. Is that a word? What's the word I'm looking for?
Universal.
But no, there's a quality about that bonds people that are different. And I didn't realize that till I got a dog. And I'm talking to everybody in my building that I never even talked to before. Ladies are like coming out of the woodwork asking me, do I live here? And I'm like, I've been here 3 years, ma'am.
That's funny.
But I have the dog now. So
Yeah, it's commonalities. When I taught high school, especially, I used to teach my kids, especially new kids, to find commonalities. And I had a thing at the beginning of the school year every year where I basically had kids go through what they like to do, their hobbies and interests, and then connect commonalities. And you'd be
yeah,
surprised. You had new best friends like immediately. And
yeah.
that's what it is. It's a
hmm
commonality of, okay, this is a person who's a good person who cares for an animal. I
hmm
love that. Let me talk to
hmm
that person. And
hmm Yep.
that's kind of
Music
how
does
that
that.
goes.
Sports does that, which is why your podcast is
Yes,
so
they do.
great. Um, and I've been watching you guys. You guys have an amazing podcast. I can't really help you with the sports part. But
It
Hey,
helps when you and
you've
your
got some good
co-host are
teams
good
at
friends.
least though from your hometown.
well, yeah, Philly. Yeah, I mean, and I have the best of both worlds because I'm from Baltimore and Philly. So I have the Ravens. They're
You
good.
have the
I
Orioles,
know
which I
that.
love.
Yeah.
Got Lamar. So yeah, I just kind of go with whatever team is like doing better.
Hey, that's you've got two affiliations. That's okay.
Right. I can kind of be a chameleon until somebody calls me out at the bar. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I don't really
Uh, sure, those players are great. Right. That's how I am with
look.
football. I'm like
When
that
we
with
were
football. I am not a
when
football
we were
person.
prepping for the show, I was like trying to do all my research, but there's no way to like catch up on 100 years of every sport.
Yeah.
I'm
All
like,
right.
There's
All right,
no way to
Franklin, here
prep.
we go. Who was the 1945 World Series champion?
I'll go with New
And
York.
Charlie would know that, by the way.
Right.
Well, the
It's a
random
good
one,
guess.
yeah,
The
because
Yankees is a good guess.
No, the Cubs lost that one to the Tigers.
Okay.
Are you guys scripted? Do you write all your scripts or are you improv?
Absolutely.
How do you
Because I've seen stuff. I've seen web series where you can tell they're just improvising and just kind of saying whatever. And it can get repetitive, but B, you can just tell when there's a clear intention of what you're trying to say in the script. And I knew that going into it. I was like, no, 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 we're going to do scripts. We're going to have people memorize lines, And it was challenging, honestly, because there was time constraints, Everybody had full-time jobs too, Not everybody were full-time actors just like waiting around for their next script. A lot of the people we used were professionals. We had nurses, we had, real estate, we had GMs, we had, so it was challenging in that way in terms of rehearsal, but it was important to us that we treated it because we're both theater kids. So we're used to going to rehearsals, having a script, learning lines. So we kind of treated the filming of that almost like a fast play where get the script, memorize the lines, and then we'll record the episode. I think with season 3, we definitely want to put more emphasis on the rehearsal process a little more. So maybe we'll carve out more time for that. But yeah, no, we definitely scripted everything though, because I just think things can go off the tracks a little bit if you just leave it to the actor to kind of make up stuff. Yeah.
How did you
Yeah.
find your
I
people that
can
you were
imagine.
talking about? Like the
How to find the
GMs,
people.
were they the GMs, the nurses, were they like friends of yours, people you knew,
Mhm.
or was it like an open casting?
Well, because we are both are involved in theater, we kind of knew a lot of people. But also they were friends too, but our friends happened to be people that were theater people. Um, and so mostly everybody had had a little experience at least performing during the theater thing. So it was kind of natural. We kind of just had people in mind and it kind of just worked out. I think a few people had done it for the first time, but they just kind of fell right in place, you know? So we were lucky in that way. Yeah, we kind of knew the people we wanted to use if they were going to be, you know, the more dramatic parts or the more comedic parts. But yeah, I think we just knew the right circle of people, and it kind of was just natural.
And that lends
What is
itself
that?
to chemistry, right? That helps with the
Oh yeah,
that helps with the chemistry of the cast and mixing together because you guys, I mean, granted, not as characters, you know, everybody as real people, but you're able to instantaneously know, okay, mannerisms and kind of work off of that as an actor and know that, okay, in this scene, this person's probably going to approach it this way
yep,
and maybe have less direction,
yep.
less need for direction. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, one that comes to mind that you say this, it's a character. I have a great professional actress friend, Shayla. She is the one that plays more of the like the huge character part. She's nuts in the actual show. But yeah, we kind of knew, you know, she doesn't live here, so we kind of knew she wouldn't have needed as much, maybe a rehearsal, because she kind of comes with an arsenal of kind of skills. And that's not to take away from anybody else, but I've just worked with her for like
Of
20 years
course.
at this point.
Yeah, it's her
So it was
background.
just like it was just an example of somebody I knew that would be good for it, that would kind of be low maintenance. She could come into town, kill her stuff, and then, you know, go away. And she's actually on tour right now with Rick James the musical.
Oh, that's cool.
There's a musical Rick James. Oh, that must be
Absolutely.
amazing.
Yep.
He
It
was a
is good.
character.
Yep.
Oh,
I didn't realize when I saw it. I was like, oh my
super
God.
freak
But
himself.
he has a lot of good
Oh
music.
yeah,
Who would have known? I mean,
he
not who would
did,
have
and
known,
they
but I guess I
did.
just don't. So you see one show of it all together, you don't really appreciate, you know, it all. But yeah, she's
He
touring with
was
that, but she's done a lot of great stuff. I love her. Yeah, yeah.
he was a very
Well,
interesting character, Rick James.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
It's,
absolutely.
to put it lightly. Yeah. Wow, that's speaking of interesting characters. See, I'm still doing these transitions. You watch the Housewives.
Yes,
What is going on with Bravo? Like, so I'm hearing Bravo put stuff on pause. What's going on there? Do you know?
yes. So I'm thinking that it came from all of the allegations to Andy Cohen. He was found not guilty of it all, and that there was no, you know, misconduct. But I think what Bravo is doing is they are making sure everything's on the up and up with the rules and regulations. So I think one of the complaints were that they were getting the cast drunk and that they were applying the cast with alcohol. And I think what Bravo is doing now is they're putting these standards in place where no one can even accuse them of that because the rule is going to be you can only have 2 drinks per filming. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. They're giving
Mhm.
cars to people, picking them up from their houses. So if they do drink, they don't have to drive home. So it's probably good stuff that's happening as a result of it.
Very smart. Yeah.
Yeah, it probably should have always been there.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
Right. But I think what's happening is it's slowing down the filming process. So pretty much every show is on pause right now, even the most popular ones. So I think a lot of people were scared that these shows were, you know, not coming back. I don't think that's it. I think they're just trying to do things in a more professional manner. Um, and rightfully so, maybe this was all a
I
good
think,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
I think it's smart. I mean, Bravo is owned by NBC Universal and it's a big parent company, and they
Yep.
just want to make sure that all their eggs are in a row. And Bravo
Yeah.
is a very successful brand, and they
Yeah.
want to make sure that it remains that way.
Mhm.
Integrity is important.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And then sometimes it takes, a lawsuit or two to remind people, oh, hey, maybe we should have been doing this anyway. Whether you're guilty or not, it just reminds you, like, all right, let's tighten it up a little bit. Let's tighten the ship, And I think that's what they're doing now. But they'll be fine. Andy's not going anywhere. I feel like he's so synonymous with Bravo. They're not gonna get rid of
100%.
him. I just think they just want to change the way they do it a little bit, But,
Is he still
yeah.
doing Watch What Happens Live? He's still doing that,
I think,
right?
I think
So,
that got renewed for another 2 seasons.
yeah.
So yeah, he's not going anywhere. Bravo's not going anywhere. It's just too much money involved. They wouldn't. Yeah, they wouldn't. We're about a decade out from that, I think.
Yeah.
At
right.
least.
I mean,
right.
eventually, entertainment, everything cycles out eventually, and I'm sure it
Absolutely.
will eventually. I mean, look, MTV, I don't know when it stopped doing music videos, but it did. I mean, I remember in the I'm older, but I remember watching Remote Control in the late 80s. It was a game show MTV had, and I'm like, what's happening? And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden in the 90s, you started getting Jersey Shore, and you had what was that series? I forget. It was with a bunch of young people together. Real
Road
World.
Rules?
You had Real World, and you
Yeah.
started Road Rules came after Real World, and then you had
Mhm.
based on both of those the Challenge, which is
Mhm.
still on, and MTV veered away from music videos. So I think eventually the model does shift.
Yeah.
So what are you watching right now on TV? What are your go-tos?
So okay, well, reality wise, I'm doing Martha's Vineyard Summer House. I think that's great. And I typically don't like those type of shows, but I think I just stumbled upon it on a whim and it was really good. But non-reality, okay, so I can give you a whole list here. Killing Eve on Netflix. It's an older one.
That's originally BBC.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you watch it, Charlie?
Yeah.
Not yet. It's on my list.
Okay. It's good. It's all women-led, women writers, women showrunners. So I think it's multicultural. So I think it's just cool for representation because you don't always see that.
Absolutely.
And it's
Yeah.
great reviews too.
Yeah. What is her
Called
name?
Killing
Oh my
Eve.
God.
I'm not gonna check that out.
Sandra. Oh, yep.
Sandra
She's
Oh,
the
yeah.
lead of that
I love
from Grey's
Sandra
Anatomy.
Oh.
Yep. She
Yeah.
is killing it. So cool. And it's not,
She's
it's not
awesome.
about her race. I like that, she's an Asian American woman, obviously, but it's not about that. They don't even mention it in terms of it being a plot point. And I like that. It's like she can play any part she wants. She's sexy, she's funny, she's witty, she's intelligent, and she's like this private investigator. But I'm watching that. Handmaid's Tale. These are 2 shows David got me into. I just watched Apples Never Fall on Hulu. With Annette
How's
Bening.
that?
That was great. I'm a sucker for like mysteries. If I don't know, if you can keep me going and not knowing what's gonna happen in the next episode, I'm all in. I hate predictable.
Well, my sister-in-law was like, "Oh, you're gonna like Handmaid's Tale," and I don't know what it is. I have an aversion to period pieces. Like if people are in corsets and stuff, I'm not into. I don't know. Like
Okay,
I don't like things that are in the 1800s.
but see, that's the thing. When you look at them, it looks like something from the past, but it's actually not. The women are just so repressed that it gives you the vibe of 1800s, 1700s, but it's in the future. You said,
like if America.
Yeah, so it's literally like if American democracy was overthrown. So it's in the future, and it's like we regressed, like by how we dress
like
and the
past.
practices.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's actually takes place ahead of time. So, and I thought the same thing. So it's interesting you said that. But I sat through a whole season and I was hooked. We gotta start that up again. But
I guess I have to try it again.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same reason why I didn't get into what was that thing with the dragons? I forget.
Game of Thrones.
It was very popular. I didn't get into Game of Thrones either.
You said, "What's that thing with the dragons?"
I never watched.
David is like, he's pissed. He's rewatching it now. Yeah, I'm like overwhelmed.
David likes for Game of Thrones.
He's like, so good. You said, "What's that thing with the dragons?" I don't watch it either,
Like
so I understand. What else are we watching? What's going on? What are we watching? Help me. Man on the High Castle. But that's one you gotta watch. You can't just like watch them.
Talk about it.
Them on Amazon Prime. That is really good. It's kind of it
Is that a
mixes,
horror?
yeah, it like mixes like racial
Oh,
themes, psychological themes, and horror together in a way that I've never seen before. It's very cool.
it's
It
got
will make you
goosebumps.
uncomfortable because it
Oh,
definitely explores some topics that are true, but also it's like the extreme versions of all those topics or not. But I suggest everybody check that out. If I had to list one out of all those, them, because I think everybody living in this country needs to watch stuff like that because it just reminds you that like we can be horrible human beings sometimes, and we need to be nicer and kinder and less judgmental and less prejudiced to each other. And I think
absolutely.
that both seasons of that show are glaring examples that we are all in the human race and we all just need to, you know, be kinder to each other, you know?
You guys also watch the Traitors, right, Franklin?
Oh Lord, yeah.
Huh.
Okay. Can we have a real conversation about that?
Well, the reason why I asked was a few more of the rumored season 3 people just came out like in the last not even 1 hour.
Okay. So we got
You just said you watched Summer House. So
uh-huh.
can you tell us about Ciara Miller? She's an updated rumored in season 3.
Okay, so I think you're talking about the summer. So the one I'm talking about is Martha's Vineyard. I don't think I know. I think they're like a franchises of it. So
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think she's on the one I actually watched. See, Ara Miller, yeah. I don't think she's on ours, the one I'm thinking of. There's like two different ones.
There's also a few Real Housewives who are
Okay.
rumored on it. There's Robin Dixon of Potomac.
Okay.
There's Dorinda Medley of New
Okay.
York City.
Oh,
That's a mean one, David.
Dolores Catania of New Jersey.
Okay.
And Mary Cosby of
Oh,
Salt Lake City.
all right. Let me give you the rundown of all of them. The first one you said was Robin Dixon. Robin Dixon was just fired from Potomac for not sharing her real life. So I guess Traitors is different because it doesn't really delve into your personal. It's more just like a personality and you're playing the game. So she might work on there a little more. But the reason why she was fired from Potomac was because, you know, she wouldn't open up to everybody. So, but I think a personality like that could work on Traitors.
Okay.
You said Dorinda Medley. She's just great TV. This woman is nuts. In the best way possible. I'm sorry, Dorinda. I love you actually. It's David that it's like, what's wrong with this woman?
I don't even mention Jimmy on sympathy.
No, but this woman is great TV. I was fascinated with this woman. She'll make great TV. I think you said Dolores. Dolores, yeah. I like Dolores. She's on Jersey. She'll be fine. I could take her or leave her though, honestly. And then Mary Cosby. Woof. This woman married her step grandfather.
oh.
So her
What?
grandmother. No, I'm telling the truth. Her grandmother and her married a man that was not her grandfather. The grandmother passed away, and Mary married the man her grandmother was married to. So they're not biologically related, but
yeah,
she married her step grandfather.
Very blurred lines.
Yeah, and she's a character. She'll be great on any show she's on.
How soapy is that?
Right.
How soapy is that?
Right. It is.
It's so soap opera.
It is.
The Days of Our Lives Are Young and the Restless or Bold and the Beautiful.
Maybe that's why I love her. Wait, so we never talked about this. What did you guys think about season 2 of Traitors?
I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love Traitors.
Yeah,
I think
we're
the show
big fans. Great. I still like season 1 better. I'm personally a fan of season 1 more. We were constantly like back and forth, like, did you see this? Did this happen? This happened. It was unbelievable.
Phaedra got thrown under the bus because when Dan was going out, he voted for her, and then a few people remembered that, and then they eventually got her at like the final 4 or 5.
Oh
Dan
no!
Giesling from Big Brother messing things up.
Legend. So okay, let's talk about this. I felt like he was a fish out of water a little bit in Traitors. He couldn't manipulate them how he could on Big Brother. It was interesting to see him not be as effective on a different show.
So here's you're familiar with Dan, obviously. I mean, here's Dan Giesling. He's like one of this, like he had the funeral, Dan's funeral on Big Brother. Like, it's one of the strategies that everyone talks about and people talk about. If you want to go on Big Brother, you need to come up. Your back is in the corner. You're getting ready to be evicted. You have to have a strategy in order to get yourself out of it. And Dan, he was in a challenge. He got put in isolation because of something that happened.
I
And in the
remember.
isolation, you remember, he started thinking about what can I do? And he came out of isolation. Boom, I'm gonna have my funeral. And he did this whole thing, and it
It worked.
turned everything around. And on Traitors, it was like, I don't know
Yeah.
what happened. He just
Do you
didn't have
think
his mojo.
do you think it was more produced than Big Brother and he didn't have as much room to manipulate people? You think?
I think that's part of it. I think because on Big Brother, everything's 24/7. You're in the house all the time with all the other castmates,
With minds.
house guests, and you're just talking, right? I think on a show like Traitors, and I don't know this for sure, but I think there's point. They don't live in a mansion, from what I understand. They're in a hotel nearby, and they go to the mansion to film. And even the scenes when they go and they slip it under the door, they're not actually staying there. They just do all
that makes
that for
sense.
the show. And
That
so
makes
I
sense.
think there are periods of time where they're not, and I'm sure they're not allowed to talk when they're not at the house and it's not in the game, but they're not involved all the time, like 24/7, like on Big Brother.
Yeah.
And I think Dan, to Dan's credit, Dan was a teacher, a coach. I think he had the ability to kind of get into people's heads. I don't think he could do that on Traitors.
Yeah. There wasn't opportunity. Yeah.
I think also he was a little passive in the beginning when he was trying to like figure out his right gameplay. And a few people kept calling him out on that. And once there was a little doubt on him, eventually someone was going to take a shot at him.
Yeah. Janelle
Way
was
too
not helpful
passive.
for his gameplay. Because
I
Janelle,
love Janelle.
yeah, she's a great player.
She doesn't put up with bull. She's like,
but she never wins. She always gets close or makes an impression, but she never, she never won Big Brother. She was on there like 4 times, but she never won.
No, she
But
got
she's
in
such
the
a
middle
great
of
player.
Dr. Will, and she was at Big Brother All Stars, the first one. It was Dr. Will and who's the guy that won? His buddy. Well, his buddy then, they're not buddies anymore, but she kind of couldn't break that. He was the guy that owned the Mike Boogie, and her, Dr. Will and Mike Boogie, and she couldn't get through to that. And I think Brittany Haynes is kind of bring the same kind of vibe to Traitors 3. I heard that she is one of the rumored cast members. You remember?
I like her.
She was on Reindeer Games last year.
Okay.
She has a really interesting personality to me. Like, she's like very emotional, and I think which is perfect. And I'm interested. I'm always interested. I think that the show Traitors, and I don't know how you guys think about it, but I think it all focuses on who is picked as the Traitors first pick.
Yeah.
I think that really kind of rolls the ball. I think in season 1, the choices, I mean, Sari was beautiful. Sari played a beautiful game from Survivor. That she wrote the textbook on how to play Traitors, in my opinion. And I want to see her again. Like that, she was, and then funny, right after that, she goes on Big Brother.
What did you think about her gameplay on that?
I thought she was great on Big Brother. I think it was hard for her. I think it's a harder game. I think her son messed her up. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I love seeing her on there, and I like the fact that finally we saw a Survivor player on Big Brother.
And they waited way too long to vote her out. They were so dumb. We kept saying week after week, the longer you let Sari in the game, the better chance she's going to win it.
Yeah.
He almost did too.
How impressive of that. I mean, for a player who is well known like Sari, or on Deal or No Deal Island like Boston Rob, to make it through an entire season almost, that I give the player credit. I don't give the credit much to the other players saying that they don't know what they're doing. I give it more to the player and being able to maneuver that. I think it gives them more props, in my opinion, because they have more to maneuver through being who they are. Sari, I was a huge fan of Sari. I thought she well deserved to win that game. And she's really what got me hooked on Traitors. I mean, she was
really okay.
Yeah,
I need to go back and watch season 1, I think. Yeah.
And she's similar on Survivor. She played Survivor similarly as well. Which is great.
So I watched the first season of Survivor and then maybe 2 and
Borneo.
3. And then I kind of fell off for some reason. Maybe Big Brother took precedence over everything else. But yeah, I don't
So,
know.
have you watched Big Brother from the beginning?
Yeah.
You remember Eddie McGee, the winner of Big Brother 1? He had one leg.
What?
Yeah, the winner of Big Brother 1, Eddie McGee, he had one leg. He ended up going into acting gigs after Big Brother 1. Big Brother 1, if you don't know, for listeners or whatever, is very different from Big Brothers 2 to present.
You called in to vote for your
Yeah,
winner.
you had to vote like on America Online. It was way in the early beginning of computers. It was 2000,
Hey.
I think. And you used to have to call in and vote for the players. They didn't vote for each other to go out.
No, America did.
America voted all. And what they found, the producers found, is that didn't work in this country because people are always going to vote out the players they don't like. And they don't like them because they're game players.
Wait,
And
did
it
they
made it
vote each
very
week?
boring. Yes.
Mhm.
So
They
did
the
head of
one- there was no
household
head-
put up
there
the
was no
people
head of
or
household.
zero? Wow.
Head of
So
household
just
didn't
every
exist.
week, whoever was the most hated got voted out essentially.
So
Pretty
what
much.
happened? Yeah.
Wow.
So basically, had a household didn't exist. What did exist in season 1 is that house guests nominated the 2 people. They went in and nominated the 2
Right.
people, and then America voted from one of the 2 people.
Oh,
to
so
Yeah.
they picked of the 2 that were nominated.
right.
Yeah.
So America had a lot of control.
Yeah.
And it's so much so that in the middle of season 1, I don't know if you remember this, Franklin, they almost all left the house. They were like, "Oh, we're leaving the game. We're done with the game," and they had to literally offer them money to stay in the game of play.
So I was 12, which is why
Oh
my
God!
memory is a little spotty. No. But I did watch from the beginning. No. That's why I'm not.
I was 28.
I'm trying to piece it all together. But I do remember some of this, and the veto was not a thing.
Veto wasn't a thing until
Veto
season 2.
came years later, and I remember the first.
Yeah, season
I
3.
remember
Veto came.
Yeah, well, I remember when it first happened. I was like, I don't like this because I just felt like it was too many opportunities for somebody to redeem themselves. I don't know. It was annoying.
You remember the biggest veto blunder? Marcellus and Amy in Big Brother 3? Or was it 3
What
or 4?
happened?
Marcellus was the power of veto holder. He had the power.
That was the black guy, right?
Yes, and he chose.
I liked him. Okay,
I liked him too.
I
And
remember.
he chose not to use it on Amy, and then Amy ended up voting him out.
Yep, and that was a whole thing.
Whole thing.
Hilarious.
He ended up on All Stars for that blunder, and he ended up hosting these Big Brother webisodes after
Right.
for years.
He was
But
a
yeah,
character.
but season 1, Charlie, if you ever get a chance, go back.
I was literally going to
Netflix
ask,
and watch
can
it.
you watch season 1? But
Yeah,
Netflix
it's
only
on-
has 2 seasons
no,
at a time
right.
available.
It's on Paramount Plus.
Okay.
Paramount has all the seasons.
Every
Go
single
back and
one.
watch one. You're gonna be like, "What show is this?" It doesn't look anything like.
Wow.
It looks like they're in trailers. It doesn't even look like a house.
Yeah, America did not love Julie at
and they had
first.
chickens out. You remember
Chicken George.
Chicken George.
Chicken George.
They had chickens. So anytime something happened in the house, you know how they focus now on fish. Back then,
Yeah.
they would focus on the chickens.
Yeah. It's so interesting how things
Oh.
evolve. I mean, it has been on for what, 25 years now?
As long as Survivor has been on. Big Brother doesn't have as many seasons because Big Brother's, except for a couple of winter seasons of Celebrity and regular Big Brother, they
Yeah.
do that usually during the Olympics. Big Brother does
Yeah.
not have as many seasons as Survivor does.
I do
'cause
like
it's a little-
Celebrity Big Brother. I feel like
I did too.
the real Big Brother can be a little long-winded. I feel like Celebrity kind of gets right to the point. And like you already know the people, so you kind of go in rooted for people already. The Tamar Candy Burris
Oh.
season, that was epic. That
And
was
I
a good
still-
That
season.
was good.
And I still didn't get Tamar Braxton, right?
Right.
Me too.
Oh, on our show?
Nor did I get Chuck. Chuck Liddell was also on Celebrity Big Brother.
Oh,
and
I didn't
that
get him. And I'm a huge Tamar Braxton fan. Well, yeah, I heard a rumor that I got her. I got her right. But yeah, I love
Yeah,
that episode. I feel like
I
if
knew
there
it
was
was-
an episode I was gonna win, it would have been that episode.
It's funny how everything kind of intertwines, all your fandom, especially like that. And you're watching I was rooting for Ross, the intern, even though Ross on Celebrity Big Brother, he played a
Yes.
good game. Marissa from Hairspray.
Mm-hmm.
It was good stuff.
She
Good.
was good. She
I'm.
won or was runner up?
She was runner up to Ross. I think Ross won, didn't he?
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
yeah. They were on the same season of Celebrity
Right,
Big
right,
Brother.
right.
Whenever we have like a Winter Olympics, you'll usually see. So hopefully
Yeah,
in 2 years we'll see a Celebrity Big Brother again. I enjoy it. I like a
Is
Winter
is there a
Olympics
reason why it's linked with the Winter Olympics?
because of it's cheap to produce and the ratings. It draws a little bit from the Olympics because it doesn't necessarily have the same audience. I assume. I
Oh,
don't
I didn't
know.
know.
It's a good question. We should ask Julie Chen Moonves. Julie, come on the podcast. We'd love to
I
talk to
imagine.
you. I
I
love
still got
Julie.
some other questions too.
Yeah, so do I. So right now in the case of Big Brother, they've wrapped up casting for this season for season 26. And
Hmm.
so, they really do, honest to goodness, I've done a little research. They really do surprise the people in their house right before. So what happens
That's
on Big
real.
Brother, what you see on TV is real. They literally like you'll know at that point that you're basically at the end and you're waiting to see if you're going to go on, and they basically will call you up and say, hey, we're going to have a camera crew come out and shoot you just to kind of see and kind of get some video, and then they'll usually work with your family members to hide a key somewhere, and then them finding the key 99% of the time is the real deal, and they
Oh,
literally have like an hour to get all their stuff together, and they go off in a car and off to LA to go and sequester to be on the show. That's how that
I
works.
did not know that. I always
And
thought it was just like acting, honestly.
no, and it's interesting because they literally like so if the show premieres in the middle of July, which I think it does around the 17th, they'll do that whole process probably about 2 weeks before. And they'll be in sequester for a little bit, especially now post COVID, because they make sure that everyone's okay. And
Hmm.
but yeah, it's fascinating. So they're about a month out, I would think, from that surprise process. But I can't imagine what it's like. I that's one show that I would love to go on to
Yeah,
kind of be in an anticipation of what's going to happen.
I
In
could
my
see you on
opinion.
there. I could
Can we
totally see
see?
you on there. And
Definitely.
no one, you'd be like, I feel like you would be the one everyone trusted. And then at the end, you'd be like,
And I'd be
but that's like you
meanwhile, I'd
said.
be in the diary room like, yeah, I don't care about that. Well, I'm gonna get that. Yeah, honey boo boo.
Right.
Like
That's
I'll be like,
hilarious.
that's yeah. So maybe one day, who knows?
Yeah. Yeah.
I love Big Brother. I cannot
Yeah.
wait for
Me
Big
too.
Brother. Big Brother, it has those elements, the soapy elements too, right? So the
Yep.
housewivey kind of thing. I
Yep.
love it when there's a house meeting and they're fighting. That's
Oh,
good
yeah. Oh,
stuff.
it's
I love
good.
that stuff. Yeah.
Especially
It's
when
it
it's like real, like betrayal. And yeah, it has the soap opera elements. I
the
got David
blind
into it last summer.
sides.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
That's what's great about Survivor too. Survivor
yeah.
has that also.
Yeah. Absolutely. I got to get back into that. I don't know. For some
So
reason,
Survivor Borneo, yeah, I was just watching a podcast where they were talking about it. There's a couple, Rudy is no longer with us, and there's a couple of players from that season that are no longer with us. And they were going through each player, and it just brought back memories of me watching that season. And I remember, watching Richard Hatch walk around naked and like, what is this dude doing? Like, and who knew that that was going to be like the antecedent to like this legacy of incredible reality. I mean, they without a doubt, I don't know how you guys feel, but that I feel like Survivor is like the godfather of reality TV.
oh
Like
yeah.
that was, you know it was a transition from like the real world type of reality to
Yeah.
like the competition reality. When
Yeah.
you're talking
It's a hybrid
competition
of those.
reality, I watched Survivor. I was like fascinated. And the first season was a summer season because they didn't know how it was going to go.
Mhm.
And it took off like a rocket. I mean, the ratings, all the cast members became superstars. They were on the cover of Entertainment Weekly. And
Mhm.
and so now with season 50, I'm watching these podcasts and they're talking
50.
about yeah, 50 is coming up in next year, not this year.
What?
This year we have 48
Because
and
they do
49,
2 a year.
2 a year,
Oh,
and they're bringing back all the 50 is going to be all returnees. So from people from, and so Rob has a podcast, and I'm always giving them plugs. They need to give, but they
oh my
are
God.
going through each and every one of the 46 current seasons, and they're going through who they think could possibly be on Survivor 50, which I'm assuming I don't know about you. I think it's going to be at least 20 players. It has to be a significant number, only
Yeah.
because you want to have like there's a lot of seasons to draw from. So
Right. That's the problem. Like, how do you
I
pick?
they were saying Jervis probably from season one, which Jervis was very interesting, and Jervis has
Mhm,
already returned a couple of times.
mhm,
We'll see. I mean, I have to
mhm.
rewatch Survivor Borneo. I haven't seen that in years.
Yeah.
I would love to see Sue Hawk. Remember Sue? But
Sue, she was
Sue,
tough.
the rats and the snakes, and she had that whole speech going because her compadre turned on her. I would love to see her, but apparently she doesn't want anything to do with the show right now, which is
Uh,
unfortunate.
who was
Yeah,
the one that said she wouldn't spit on the person if they were on fire?
Sue Hawk.
That's okay. 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 That was
She
iconic.
had this whole monologue, like it was
Yeah.
unbelievable
Yeah.
theater, like right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, the rats and the snakes and I don't
Oh,
remember
that's
it,
the
but
same mama.
it's
Okay. Yeah.
like oh my! And she had this truck driver. She's a truck driver, so she had
Yeah.
this Midwestern accent while she's
Yeah.
saying it, and it
Yeah.
was the best. That was the
Iconic.
best moment of tea. I think she helped launch Survivor personally. I think Sue Hawk is a
Absolutely.
character. But yeah, they're
Absolutely.
talking about Richard Hatch. Like, there's a House of. Did you watch House of Villains season one?
Not really. I saw clips.
He's going to be on House of Villains season two.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That makes complete sense.
That should
can't
be
wait to
on
watch
soon too,
that.
I think.
Yeah, I
So,
can't wait to watch that.
did you guys watch House of Villains?
Yeah.
Ooh, good.
I should watch. We should watch.
Yeah, you will enjoy.
Okay. I think I
Charlie
saw like
Charlie
the
got
first
me
episode.
into it. I didn't watch it. Charlie's like, "Have you watched House of Villains?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "You need to watch House of Villains." So I watched one episode and literally like I watched the whole series in a weekend.
Oh, God.
I was like, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, I'm
It's got
tired.
some
I don't
good
know
ones on
why.
there.
Yeah.
I mean, anything with Omarosa is
I
pretty.
love New York is on that season.
Oh,
And she's
oh
coming
yeah.
back for season
Well, yeah.
two. I love her. She's
And there were
great.
a few Bravo people on it as well.
Yeah, they were. Just like
Yeah.
on the GOAT, there were Bravo people.
Yeah. I need to check that out. The goat.
Reza was just voted out
Mhm.
of the GOAT.
Yeah.
He was just
Okay.
voted out.
Was he on Traitors too?
Yeah,
Mhm.
he was the
Oh,
first
that's
out
who
on
you're
Trader
talking
season
about.
two.
Yeah,
Reza. Yeah,
He's fun. Yeah. I like
he's
him.
an interesting
He
guy.
he did pretty good. He made it to like the
Yeah.
final 8 or 7.
He
Mhm.
did. So on the current season of the GOAT, we have Davon Rogers, who she's playing a beautiful game. She's
Really?
actually, I think she's playing a better game than the guy from Survivor, who's kind of her compadre.
Wendell.
Wendell. I didn't watch. See, I didn't watch a certain portion of Survivor either. Charlie had to bring me up to speed on Wendell.
Mhm.
But I think she's kind of outplaying Wendell at this point. What do you think, Charlie?
100%.
Yeah,
She's
Davon's playing
she's the
great
puppet
game.
master of the house right now.
She's a smart girl. I think people don't always give her credit for that, but
And-
she's very methodical.
And she's like basically BFF besties in the house with Jill Zarin. The two
Oh,
of them
God.
are
They
just
said they're
running
going to
stuff
final
right
two
now.
together. They're going
How's
to final.
Jill,
You
how's
need to
Jill
watch the
doing?
GOAT, my friend. It's great.
Is Jill like being Jill, or is she? How's she doing?
She just had
She and Reza got into it a little bit this
what I was
most
gonna
recent
say.
week. So
She and
Oh.
Reza. And they're apparently in real life, because they're Bravo, they're really good friends. And Reza's like, "You better not vote me out." And he was like giving her this guilt trip, and she's like, "But you were gonna vote me out." And the drama, it was good.
and
It's
then
good.
Davon made a speech about how, remember, everyone, there's the person and the player. You have to separate them from the game. She went on like this. It's an interesting dynamic, because you got like half the people that are competition reality shows like Big Brother, Survivor,
Mhm.
and then the other half are non-competition, and they come into these games very differently.
Very green.
Like, they're taking it personally, whereas the Big Brother Survivor people know it's a game and they're playing it like a game. So
Yeah.
Which
it's
is
an
what makes
interesting-
that beautiful. That's what I
Yeah.
loved about House of Villains too. So I'm excited. It should be good. I get
Okay.
excited for TV.
I had to check out the GOAT and season 1 of Traitors, because I watched season 2,
Oh yeah.
but yeah.
Season 1 is good. Season
Yeah.
1 is really good.
Yeah.
Dan did not play a great game as a traitor, in my opinion.
No, you
To
did not.
see a great game as a traitor, season 1.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
Definitely.
Without saying anything else, and I want to spoil
All
it.
right.
But yeah. So when when will we see a new season of Deloach Gene?
Well, that is the golden question. I'm thinking probably, I don't want to speak too soon, but fall or winter. We'll keep it that general. That could
Okay,
be
so
like
not too distant
7
future.
months.
That sounds like charade.
Right. Um, so it could be, I guess what it depends on is we're trying to always elevate and do it bigger and better. So we're probably going to start earlier in the year if I have it my way. But it kind of just depends on the logistics of who we have, their schedules, and all that. So we will definitely have a better idea. But what I will encourage people to do is check out season 2 on our YouTube channel, the Deloach Gene Show on YouTube. And actually, you can start from season 1. Season 1 is good too, but where we are really proud of and we've been winning the awards from starts at season 2. So whatever you'd like to do, you can do the season 2 playlist. And like Tim was saying, it's just a funny, silly, kind of romantic comedy drama that just kind of explores, two guys trying to navigate life and love and being together and in show business together. But it's good. And yeah, I would just encourage everybody to go to the YouTube and check that out. And you could just do the season 2 playlist and watch everything from the season. I think it's 10 episodes, and yeah, you can do that to hold you over to when we do season 3. But season 3, we've got plenty of surprises coming you guys' way. Season 2, we had Claudette Ortiz from the group R&B group City High. She was a castmate on that show, so on that season rather. So yeah, we'll always have some surprises coming your way, and we want to do it even bigger and better. And that's probably why it's going to take a little longer than maybe one would think, just because we want to do it even bigger and give you guys what you deserve, for sticking with us.
We're gonna link your YouTube on our YouTube so that when people are watching, just click the link in our description, folks, and you'll be able to watch Deloach Gene.
Ooh,
and
guys.
just gotta patiently wait a little longer for season 3.
Sorry about it, but it'll be worth the wait. We promise, right, David?
Yes, we want to make it amazing.
Yes, love that.
Follow
them on TikTok too. They have a great TikTok account.
Yes. Well, so honestly, we get a little nervous. Well, we get a little nervous because who knows what's gonna happen with that.
Yeah.
But we're definitely on TikTok. Deloach Gene Show on TikTok. For the you want to do the YouTube, the Deloach Gene Show. But just Deloach Gene Show for TikTok.
I think it's too big to go away, personally.
Yeah, I do too, but we were just like, okay, maybe we should start like pushing the YouTube a little more. Just in case, things get a little
kind of how I was with Trivia Chat. Like,
yeah,
it's trying to push it over, but it's
right.
There's no platform like TikTok for that short video live. Even for lives is where TikTok is strong, and they don't pay
YouTube's
me to say
hard.
that.
YouTube is harder.
It's hard, very hard.
It really is.
It's hard to take off. It's easier to take off on TikTok because you'll put out like a minute video or even a 30-second video, and it'll get traction. All of a sudden, you have a bunch of new followers. YouTube is difficult to find that, and Shorts is kind of rising, but it's still hard.
Absolutely, I agree. So,
but it's still the platform for long form videos, without a doubt.
Absolutely. At this point, something will take over in the coming years, but we'll see.
So, thanks for joining us, my friend.
Of course, thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you for making this happen finally.
It was just nice to talk to you too. You're awesome, and it was so awesome getting to know you in Atlanta and becoming friends, and I only wish great things for you.
Oh, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. And I missed you guys. It was nice, catching up and shooting the shit about our, our pop culture in the show.
Shooting the shit on our shit.
But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us. This is Around the Bases, the pop culture and sports podcast with your host,
Charlie Seymour.
I'm Tim Sternberg with the great Franklin Anthony, and David is here, and Anita is here. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Appreciate you guys.
Everyone, see you next week for another great episode. Bye.
Bye.